Hello, my fellow Fed fans. Welcome back to the 10-Minute Misconduct Unofficial FPHL podcast. Tonight, we have the great Jake Schutz from the Binghamton Black Bears. Tonight with me will be Ed and Sam of the podcast. How's everybody doing?
Oh, good.
Good to hear. Ed, Sam, how are you guys tonight?
Delightful. How are you?
Wonderful.
Not too shabby.
Well, that's great to hear. So, Jake, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us today. We really appreciate your time. You just recently came back from the ECHL to the Great Bingo Black Bears area. What are the big differences between playing in the ECHL and the FPHL?
Um, First off, thanks for having me, and I'm glad to be able to talk to you guys. But I'd say the biggest difference is really just like the speed of the game and mental quickness. It's decisions that you make with the puck. They're just slightly faster, but the hockey's the same game. Guys want to win everywhere, so it doesn't really matter too much about the letters in front of the league when you're playing a game. You see with our rivalry with Danbury, but it's just as intense in all the levels, but things just get a little bit faster.
Hey, Jake. How you doing? Welcome to the show, and thank you, Aaron, for reaching out to Jake to bring him on the show. I know we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about, like with the rules and all that stuff. But first of all, my question to you is, what are your feelings of the season so far? I know we'll talk about the rules in a second, but what are your feelings about this season so far for you personally and team wise?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I know I'm joining the team late, since I started the season in Worcester, but I just want to pick off where I left off last year. Being in Binghamton, just playing smart, confident hockey, and I'm joining a great group of guys here this year. So there's a lot of young talent in there, a lot of rookies. So just going to come in and just try to lead by example and just join the success that they've already built. So
That's great. You said you just came back from what, the ECHL, I believe.
yeah, I was playing. Yeah, I was playing for the Worcester Railers. It's the same team I played a few games for last year.
That's awesome. Sam, you wanna welcome yourself to Jake.
Welcome to the show, Jake. I'm glad you can make it. At what age and when did you actually get into hockey?
Hey, dude. I got into hockey probably around 3 or 4 years old. That's when I actually got on the ice. But as a little kid, I got pictures me playing with I had these little Fisher Price rollerblades. I was skating around on, and my parents could never get the hockey stick out of my hand. But I remember going to skate with my dad. I think I was around like 3 or 4 years old. Just at an open skate, and I think that was the first time of me actually being on the ice.
Very young age.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I loved
Was
it
it
ever since.
what was your kitchen and house full of puck marks and all that stuff? Were you always practicing that? I know when I was younger, I said try to shoot at the wall and all that stuff. So it was like a little puck marks all across the wall. Was that kind of like how you had it at your house too?
Well, I had to shoot the pucks outside, so we had this big wooden fence, and I think my dad was probably hated me for a while when I was a kid, but I just would rip slap shots at it and just put holes in this fence. You'd have to fix it all the time, but yeah, I wasn't playing too much inside the house unless it was mini sticks with the siblings.
I did that once. I broke the garage door glass. My grandfather was not very happy with me at the time.
Yeah, in my house we had these big door in my living room, and it had a bunch of window panes on it, and we'd break them all the time playing knee hockey. So my dad bought a box of the panes in bulk. Whenever they'd break, he didn't get mad after a while. He would just pop them in there. But
That's great. That's great.
yeah,
Class.
So
Aaron?
You're talking about how young you were when you started. Now your son's very young, but you've brought Conan around the rink a couple times. I've seen you with him at the coaches show and stuff. I think it's so awesome to see. How awesome is it for you to be able to have him growing up at the barn, growing up at the rink, and being able to expose him when he's so young to what's made you so happy.
Yeah, it's amazing. Having him around is the most important thing to me. It's every day, he grows up every second. So anytime, even when we leave for those weekends, it's tough. It's tough to leave him, but yeah, I hope being in the locker room at a young age and seeing those pictures is going to make him want to be a hockey player just like I did. But I'm not gonna force it on him or anything like that. But I don't know. He's going to have tons of hockey jerseys and sticks laying around. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it is amazing. And Andreas and Sherwood have always been cool with me bringing Conan into the locker room and letting him walk around and stuff like that for practice. And I get help from a lot of these guys. So it's sorry about my dog, by the way, too.
Oh, no problem.
We're not about to
She might
complain
make
about
some
anything.
Okay.
Time goes so fast with kids, don't they, though? My God. I have 2 kids of my own, and one's 8 and one's turning 3, and I'm like, where the hell does time go? It's like 1 minute they're like a baby, and the next thing you know, they're like a full-grown giant beanstalk walking around. I'm like, what the hell? So
Yeah,
appreciate the time, man.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, it flies by. So, but yeah, no, that's crazy. That last season, we're pushing around in the strollers and carrying him around everywhere, and now it's like he just runs everywhere. He runs around on himself, wants to get into everything. So, it is cool, but it happens very fast, just like you said.
Is he at the age where the play gate doesn't really contain him? He like climbs over it. My little one, my 3-year-old, it looks like a steel cage, like climbs over. I'm like, no, get back here.
He hasn't figured out the baby gates yet, but he does know how to open up doors. So like,
oh man,
yeah. So we'll put him down for a nap, and it's funny. If he's not ready for it, he just gets up and comes walking out. It's hilarious, but yeah. So it's cute though.
He's such a handsome little guy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Aaron, before I ask this next question, do we have any fan questions? I apologize, I don't have a computer in front of me, Aaron.
We do actually. One of the first questions in here from a fan is from the Miss Wonderful Allison Wentz. She would like to know when Conan might possibly get a sibling. When are we gonna get? We got to build a whole team here, Jake.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to convince Sierra to have another one, but I got a lot of things in progress right now. I'm coming towards the end of my hockey career, and I'm trying to become a firefighter. So I think I've been working on it for a couple of years now. I just did like an EMT course over the summer to get certified and all that stuff. So I'm trying to make some stuff happen, and then maybe we'd be in a little bit more of a stable environment for a second one, because one's a handful right now. Daycare's not cheap. So
how'd you sleep? How'd you sleep? Did you get enough sleep with them running around? I know.
Yeah. I don't get to nap anymore, even much on game days. Sierra's good about it. She's a great mom. So, for the most part, I get breaks here and there, but he's got no off switch now. He used to nap a few times a day, and now he just wants to play all day. So
yeah. One more question from the audience there, Aaron. Let's go one more.
So Anna, who is really disappointed that she couldn't be here today, she was one of your big fans when you were down in Columbus. She was very excited to talk to you. She's not feeling the greatest, so get better, Anna. We miss you.
Yeah.
But Anna has a very good question. She says, not every player can play multiple positions like you can. Do you think that gives you an advantage in anticipating what plays are going to come your way?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it helps having played both things, just because I know when I get put in positions to play forward, I kind of think about what I would do as a defenseman. And I don't think most forwards are thinking about that, as they're coming down. But I'm not very a flashy guy or anything like that. So I kind of have to use those little advantages that I know from playing D, just like when people transition and move their feet and stuff like that. So, but just for the most part, I really just use my size as an advantage. If I play forward, I just go to the front of the net. That's what I tell my teammates. If you hit the puck, just rip it to the front, and I'm gonna try to get a stick on it or make something happen. But Yeah, I've had fun. Some of the teams I've played for, it was really my only option. I either had to play forward or um, I was the odd man out. So a lot of the times it wasn't really like my decision to switch over, but it made me better in the long run.
And on the topic of Anna, yes, do get better. Anna and I, she have a set of like OG questions. So usually asks the people that we have on the show two questions. So I'll get into both of them right now. What is your favorite prank that you either participated in or had done to you throughout your career in hockey?
My favorite prank?
Yes, your favorite prank.
It's gonna be tough to think of one, man. I've been doing this for a long time now, but I do have tons of funny stories. I don't know if it's much of a prank, but there's a guy I played U16s with. His name was Chris Vella. We were riding around through New York City on the team bus, and we're doing stop and go traffic. And at some point, he literally just started mooning people out the window as we're driving through downtown New York City. And he didn't stop doing it. He was doing it for a while because everyone was laughing. And by the end of it, he was just running through his dress shirt. So I don't know if it was really like who he was pranking, just a bunch of random people, but that was a hilarious day on the bus. I'll never forget.
Well, that kind of segues into the second question. She also asked, "What is your favorite road trip story?" So, man, that was a perfect little segue. Do you have, besides the prank, do you have any other road trip stories, like any bus issues or?
Yeah, last year we went on our southern trip, and the guys all make fun of me because I was a nice break, going getting away for a little bit on the southern trip. So I remember it as being a 3-week road trip, and the guys all make fun of me because it was actually only like 12, 13 days, but I was making the most of it last year when we had our trip down south and had some fun with guys like Yarwood from last year. So that was probably my funnest trip. The guys played cards the whole time. Started in Biloxi and we went to the casino. It was just a fun road trip that I won't forget. And even last year we had some characters on the team, but we're still all very close. So it was definitely my favorite bus trip.
And that is awesome. And there you go, Anna. Those are your questions for you. Got your back, like I said. My question: you played in a lot of different junior leagues, and I see like Eastern Hockey League, United States USPHL, on top of just a few. What was your favorite experience in junior hockey? What's your favorite team, or what's your favorite memory in junior hockey as a whole?
I think my favorite place I played juniors would be in Neepawa, Manitoba, for the Neepawa natives. I had a blast being out there. I wasn't there for very long. I think it was only half a season, but I had the coolest billet family in the world, and everything's frozen down there. So there's like ODRs and these little barn rinks, and
right,
gave me a job in the town, let me use his truck. So that was the most special place I played juniors, just because I'm still in contact with them, to this day, like send each other Christmas cards and stuff like that. But I played juniors in tons of cool places. Like I won a championship in New Hampshire. And obviously that was a great experience as well too. But I'd pick Neepawa as like my favorite spot I went to.
That's awesome. Sam, I come to some time here. So Sam, do you have any questions for him?
You've played all the way between juniors and all the way up to ECHL. Do you have a favorite venue or favorite barn you've ever played in?
Favorite arena, did you say?
Yeah.
I think probably playing against Toledo when they got a packed house. It is pretty cool. There's like 10,000 people in there, and I remember my rookie year. I was 21 years old. We played against Toledo. The barn was packed. I couldn't even get my family a ticket to come watch the game, and I think we got scored on. It was like my first shift of the game, so it was like 2-3 minutes. Yeah, 2-3 minutes into the game, and they threw a wall on the ice, and it almost hit me. But I remember starting that game down -1, like 2 minutes into the game, and just thinking, "Holy crap, where the hell am I right now?" So
that's at the Huntington Center, right? That's
Yeah,
at the 100.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. At North Manhattan and Toledo, my kind they were kind of the arenas right there, kind of right next to each other up there in Toledo. So
Yeah, I that one's pretty cool. I mean, playing in Fort Wayne too. Like I've been in tons of fights in Fort Wayne since I used to play in that division with Wheeling and Indy. So playing in Fort Wayne was pretty cool too. Just like an old school arena.
that's fine because that's where Amesbury is at right now, Fort Wayne.
Yeah, I saw that. That's good. That's good for him.
Aaron,
And then do you
I
have
actually have a question. Oh, sorry, Sam. Never
I'm
mind.
sorry.
I
Go
don't.
ahead. Sorry.
Sam, it's your turn.
I was just going to ask, is there a barn that you do not ever like to play at? Don't like to go to? May it be the fans, the noise, the lack? Do you have a
Yeah, I
one
have.
you just don't like?
Yeah, I can think of two places off the top of my head that is not very fun to play hockey games at, and one is obviously Danbury. They get very into the game, but playing in the Adirondacks also, they're very similar in that way where
Ooh.
they give it to you out there. And this up recently this season, I got into a fight right before I came to the Black Bears. In Adirondack, and those fans were giving it to me the whole time. I don't know if they were on my Instagram or something, but they were chanting Sierra at one point. Or
Oh Lord.
yeah, it was getting crazy, but it's a similar atmosphere there that is to Danbury, but yeah, Danbury, we got some bad blood since losing there last season.
So I actually have a quick question about one of the games that you played in Danbury last season. I want to say it was the first or the second away for us games in Danbury. You had an epic puck drop, glove drop, took Amesbury to his booty on the ice fight. One of the best fights I think I've ever watched. It was great. There was an interview with Amesbury after that where I believe he allegedly said that he had some beer sent to your hotel room afterwards because he was talking about how it was one of the best fights. Maybe not one of the best. Let me rephrase. One of the hardest fights he's ever had. Was that true? I've been dying to know since I heard his interview on that.
Yeah, actually, he did leave a case of beer in the lobby at the Danbury Hotel. Can't remember what the name of it is, but yeah, that was a pretty cool thing. You could tell he was an old school guy.
Yeah.
There's not many people doing stuff like that nowadays, but it was funny. Like I heard from one of my teammates that he left the beer there, and they were like, "We just left it there until you got back." By the time I got back, the beer wasn't there. So I don't know if somebody
Oh,
screwed it up,
come on
but
now. Are you serious?
there was eyes on it from the teammates, and they confirmed that he left it there. So never ended up getting it, but it was still it was still cool to see like the mutual respect.
Oh.
So, but I had a nice big black eye after that fight. So he's a tough dude, and as much as I hate him because of last season, losing like how we did, I got a ton of respect for him. He's a tough customer, and that he just won a championship, so you got to give credit where it's
Yeah,
due.
absolutely.
All right. It's like the previous people that we had, it seemed like that we noticed a trend basically that you guys flip a switch or you go into like a secondary mode when you hit the ice versus what you are when you're off the ice. It's like pretty much all you guys are like the most awesomest people off the ice, but you get you on ice, it's just like you get into like a zone of sorts that you get into character, and then it's nothing but to win the game. So that's pretty cool. That
Yeah,
you said that you have respect for him like that. That's cool.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it takes a lot to go out there and duke it out, man. You never know, like, could get embarrassed in front of a bunch of people, but you go out there and you do it for like, to prove a point to your teammates and just to show them that you got their back. So anybody who's willing to go out there and do that's got my respect.
That's all.
Do you kind of have like a tradition before you warm up before games? Any sort of music you listen to, or just yoga
Maybe
or something?
when I was younger, I was doing some stretching and stuff like that. But nowadays, I'm getting older. I just kind of I play sewer with the guys. We kick the soccer ball around, and that's pretty much it for me. Maybe look at my sticks, but I don't have too much of a routine or tradition other than kicking the soccer ball around, playing sewer with the guys for the game.
So with all the new rule changes, what are your thoughts on the rule changes in the FEHL? Does it make sense, or are they a bunch of bullshit?
I mean, I think it's a little odd to do like in the middle of the year, but I do think that they're just trying to set their foot down, and kind of create like some sort of a standard. I do think things are going to a little bit extreme, just like poking each other back and forth instead of just coming to an agreement, everybody, and making decisions that make sense for everybody. But um, it is what it is. It's not really my decision what goes on up there. I just go out there and I play. So no matter what they change, the job doesn't change for me or any of the guys out here.
That's a nice mindset. I never thought about that. That's a nice way of thinking about that. That you're there just to play the game. That you leave the politics and all that stuff to the coaches and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, stuff's gonna happen, dude, and people get suspended, and you might not always agree with it, but at the end of the day, like we play so many games that you can't really think too much into that type of stuff. So,
right.
we'll let the management handle it.
Exactly. I let my manager handle it, right? Aaron, do you have any more questions from the audience right now?
So we kind of answered it a little bit, but Abby was curious, what's the favorite team you've played for and why? I know I talked about it a little bit earlier, but I think we were talking in a different context. But Abby is very curious as to what's your favorite team and why that you've played for.
Well, honestly, my favorite team is playing in Binghamton last year, and I don't just say that just because I'm on the team now, but last year being named the captain of the team was definitely the coolest thing that's ever happened to me in hockey, and I wore that with a lot of pride, and I tried to do a great job for you guys. I know we didn't end up winning the championship, but that'll forever be my coolest hockey experience is playing here in Binghamton. Remy, stop.
And I give you a lot of credit for last year and for being the captain. And there's actually a moment that really stuck out for me, and I didn't know if I'd bring it up or not. But so as you know, and I'm not trying to say anything negative now, all hail King Jersey. However, last year there was a lot of opposition. There's a lot of things that went on. People didn't agree with it for whatever reason. And there was actually a moment where there was a sign that was brought up. And at the time, I'll be honest, I agreed with the sign at the time. Don't now. But there was a sign that someone brought out that said, "Your city, Jersey's team." You came right over and respectfully asked them to take the sign down. And I remember there was a lot of talk about it. And it just, your loyalty in that moment, regardless of, I don't know how you felt then, I don't know how you feel now, that's none of mine or anybody else's business. But your loyalty in that moment just stood out. And I give you all the credit in the world. I think Tyson is an amazing captain. I don't mean anything against Tyson. I absolutely adore Tyson. But you really fulfilled that captain's role in an amazing way. And I think you deserve all the credit in the world for it.
Well, I really appreciate that. And honestly, I would do that for anybody on our team, whether I'm a captain or not. That's just kind of something that I bring to the team. So I think Kirky's doing a great job, and I'm happy to be on the team either way. If I have that or not, it doesn't matter to me. But yeah, that instance that you were talking about with Sherwood, Sherwood's one of my great friends. I've known him for a long time, and I've been playing with him since my rookie year. So when I saw that, I kind of I took it as just disrespect, and I know he would do the same thing for me. So just made the decision to get that taken down. And it's one thing for people to have their opinions. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but there's just a time and a place for it. And I didn't like it.
Absolutely. And I will be the first person to say that, I obviously just publicly admitted that I had opposition last year. And, maybe this will be my public apology to Jersey for ever having opposition. He's done amazing things with the team. And, for all I know, without Jersey last year, maybe we wouldn't have gotten Jake Schutz. Maybe we wouldn't have had this experience. But it's been phenomenal. And I think he's done great things with this team. And we are a completely different team than we were last year. And you guys have done amazing. And you deserve all the credit for it.
Well, we appreciate that, but we still got a long way to go. There's one goal on the mind.
Absolutely.
That's going all the way. So
That's the kind of goal of everybody. Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, especially now I'm getting older too, right? Like I'm kind of over the getting called up type, the call ups and stuff like that. I want to be in one place, and I want to have a tight team, and I don't really care about what the letters are in the league. I just want to win a championship. So I'm happy to be here. It's cool being so close to home and my family, and every Binghamton's it's amazing. The arena, everything, and all the guys. So it's easy to get up and have that common goal when you're lucky to be in a special place.
That's awesome. Since you said we'll segue into the little captain's corner. You've been in playing for a while and all that stuff, and you're a captain now. We have some younger folks, some billet players watching this podcast and all that stuff. What would your captain's advice be to all the young people watching here on what they should do to try to better themselves into the game of hockey, or any routines that they should do, or what they should focus on to become a better hockey player to where you are at?
I think my greatest advice would just be, staying true to yourself. Like if you believe that you got it in you, then just go for it. And put your all in it, because later in life you're going to be looking back and you don't want to have any what ifs. So just try it out, try your hardest, give everything you got, and obviously eating healthy and working out when you're a young kid is obviously going to benefit you. So that's my best advice.
That's great advice. Sam, do you have anything else?
Kind of an interesting, fun one, and going to the games and stuff, you see people over on the bench, and you kind of see their hockey sticks all kind of positioned different ways. Do you prefer to actually, when you're in the bench, have your blade up or the handle up?
I like to have the blade up, like off the ground. Just everyone's spitting on the floor and it's all wet and stuff like that. So I'll sit with the blade up on the bench, just so that things in the air drying out, not getting all covered in dirt and stuff down there. But yeah.
I mean, is there an actual preference, or does anybody actually have their blade down that you see, or?
I haven't noticed anybody that has it down. I maybe Nikita or something like that. I've seen him do it a few times, but other than that, I'm not really paying attention to stuff like that out there. I used to more when I was younger. When I first started out, I got a handful of shifts. So if I wasn't fighting anybody, I'd be kind of hanging out on the bench. So I knew how everybody tied their, laced their skates, and taped their sticks and stuff like that. But now I'm really more just focused on myself and preparing as best as I can and playing the best I can for the team.
Who do you think is going to be division championships?
Who do you think we're going to play?
Yeah, for the ECHL for each division.
Yeah, I think it's going to be us versus Danbury, and then I think on the other side it's going to be Columbus versus Carolina. I think those are, for at least right now in the past few years, those are the teams to beat. The teams guys want to play for. So those are my expectations. Obviously, anything can happen, but yeah, that's who I'd say.
Aaron, do you have any questions?
So there's another question in the chat. So we've talked a lot about your career, and thank you for being so open and honest with us. But Izzy would like to know, how do you feel about the new women's hockey team, and do you think that there are adjustments that they should make?
About the new women's league?
Yes.
I think it's a pretty cool thing, actually. Give them their own thing and start paying them a decent amount of money. They are the best out of the girls. So I have younger sisters, and they were both amazing athletes too. So I do think that is cool. I haven't really watched any of it yet myself, but I did see some clips on Instagram and them like throwing some hits and stuff like that, which I thought that was pretty cool too. So I don't know too much about it to speak on it completely, but I do think it is a cool thing, and Some of the guys were just playing NHL 24 in the other room last night or the night before, and they got the girls in the game now too, which is another pretty cool thing too. Yeah.
Anna
So,
also said, what is your favorite NHL team or player?
Well, I can tell you both, and they go hand in hand. But I'm a New Jersey Devils fan, and my favorite player is Scott Stevens. So, my dad, me, my whole family, we took our dad's team, big Devils fans, and that's why I love wearing number 4, as well. So, obviously, I'm a little bit taller than Scott Stevens was, but I still try to take some of those things from his games, just being a tough bastard to play against, someone you wouldn't want to play against on the other side.
For the remainder of the season, do you have anybody that you would like to call a dream fight? Who you like to try to get in this run with one time before the season ends?
I like that.
Anybody I'd like to fight in the league, you're saying?
Yeah. Right now, anybody's pissing you off that you really just want good clock cleaning to?
Not necessarily. I am good friends with Justin Schmidt, so we've been talking about it for a few years now, but it's never ended up happening. So I look at him more as like an older brother. So just feel like it'd be kind of weird punching each other, but at the same time, he's got so many videos that I feel like it should happen.
Can you just make sure that you do it right in front of the home bench, please, so that I can get a really good video of it? Yeah, I'll send you the video. Just make sure it's in front of home bench, please.
We'll see what happens. Like I said, we're good friends. So, but I think we play them coming up here soon. So I can't wait to see him.
So are you putting I notice right now? I better watch it. I'm coming at you.
No. I'm sure he'll call me when he sees the clip or hears about it or something. But it'll be funny. But no, I mean, never good friends. I remember one time he called me and he was down in Georgia and they were out like by some swamps looking for gators. It was insane. Yeah.
Look at us trying to try a line brawl even before the game starts. We're all trying to start a little line brawl before the game starts. Yeah, that's it. Everybody, let's go.
Line brawl would be pretty cool too. So I think we were just talking about that, all the guys in the locker room the other day, that I've only been in one in my career. It was when I was with Roanoke in Fayetteville. It was actually hilarious too. There's a video of a big scrum, and it's like a SpongeBob SquarePants night. So we're dressed up.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
in SpongeBob jerseys. So it was an interesting thing, but the video kind of loses a little bit of its toughness since everyone's dressed up like SpongeBob's. But yeah,
I'm definitely gonna go look that up after we get done.
Yeah, you can find it. You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah. Everybody watching this, go check out Google right now. Go get it. Watch that video.
I'll have to post that on the page later, guys.
All right. I'll send you the clip if you can't find it.
Oh,
now, kind of going back to the whole women's league, what do you think about the rule with the penalty kill goal?
I'm not. What's the rule? What is going on?
So, if a team's on a power play, the other team being on the penalty kill, if they score the goal shorthanded, that ends the penalty.
Oh, really? I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know. Hockey's been one of those games where nothing's really changed for the most part. So I don't see that happening, in the NHL. But maybe one of our leagues, would be the place where they would try it, to see how it works. But I don't know. I'm pretty simple or old school. I like the game as it is, and kind of makes you earn it. But I do think it is interesting.
All right. A couple questions, Aaron and Sam.
I just had one last quick question. I was going through your PIMs for the last little while. Last year, you had an astronomically high 138 compared to the rest of your years that were quite small. What was going on in Binghamton last year, Jake? What was I missing?
I honestly think most of that is just because I was on one team for the majority of the season. You know, if you look at my previous years, I was playing for 2, 3 teams a year. So if you added them all up, I'm sure they'd be up there too. Especially when I was younger, that's pretty much all I was doing was, you know, I'd have maybe 3 points on the season, but you better believe I was going to have at least 10, 14 fights, something like that. But I don't know. You know, last year is just I think it was more of just wanting to win. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to play tough and bring that.
Absolutely. And I'm not complaining. When I was looking at the elite prospects, I was like, holy moly. I was like, this one's a little bit different than the other year. Like, I
That's
look at
fun.
Jake like an enforcer. I don't know if you look at yourself as an enforcer. I look at you as an enforcer. And then I expected higher numbers. And then I'm like, wait, this year is just so different than the rest.
I think a lot of people in Binghamton have wanted that a little bit more out of me too, which I understand being a big guy. But as I'm getting older, like I'll be honest with you guys, like it starts to hurt as you get older, you know. And I got my kid too. I remember fighting Amesbury, and we had like these family pictures, you know, set up, and I got like this big black eye and stuff, and it's just like it. I don't know it. I'll stick up for my teammates and I'll fight for them if anybody does anything, but for the most part, like I'm pretty much over, you know, going out there and duking it out. I'll still do what I got to do, but you know, and not saying that I won't do it, but you know, I
Absolutely.
was a little bit more willing when I was younger, 20, 21 years old. I got nothing to lose, you know.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I think you're fun to watch. It's been great.
I appreciate that.
Sam?
And last question, do you have a favorite chirp or sign that you've received from an opposing team, rather at the game, in the penalty box, on the bench?
I can think of one off the top of my head, and I don't know why I was just telling the story not too long ago, but it was the first time I ever played in Macon against the Mayhem, and I was with the Mississippi River Kings, and you know, it's kind of an old school barn there, but they get some decent fans that care about the game, so they were putting like sticky like post-it notes on our bench and writing funny things on it in Sharpie. And I never forget coming back to the bench, and one of the posted notes it said, Schultz, you'll never make it to the ECHL. And I was playing terrible in the game. I was like -3 already. And then they put this sticky note up there, and just like it hit home. Like at the time we were watching it, I was like, you're right. Yeah, like I said, it was when I was a young kid. So I paid a little bit more attention to that stuff when I was younger than I do now. I don't even really notice it now.
So, for all the years they played hockey, I can probably say from us talking to you and all the fans that you entertained all your years, thank you for all your time on ice, entertaining the fans and putting your body through all the line and all that stuff. But you did speak that you're trying to go to your like end career, basically like you're trying to be a fireman. Where do you see yourself finishing off your career? Where would you like to sail off into the sunset when it comes to minor league hockey?
I think right here in Binghamton, winning a championship would be cool. You know, I don't want to say that this is going to be my last year, because I feel like I've said that a few times now, and I find myself coming back to hockey. But you know, I'm only 2 hours down the road, so you might just have to keep going until we make it happen here in Binghamton. But yeah, I would like to win another championship. It was a very special time for my family when we won. When I was with Columbus, and I know it wasn't for the Commissioner's Cup or anything like that during the COVID season, but it was still an amazing time and a super cool experience with a great group of friends. So let's see if I can get that one more time, and then you know, I would definitely be done playing hockey.
Oh, well, thank you very much and for joining us this week. We appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on. I'm sure you had family obligations you had to take care of too. Anna, on behalf of our show, get better out there. I know you're not feeling well. Aaron, Sam, thank you for joining me this week. And I hope you guys have a great week. Jake, have a great week playing hockey. And you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thank you
Thank
so
you guys
much.
all so much.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you.
Of course.
head down.